Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do another Oracle card reading. It is Monday morning here in Sydney, Australia, and I feel for the next few weeks anyway I'm going to do just a little Oracle card reading, maybe 10 minutes or so, just for guidance for the week ahead. I feel that's what I've been guided to do for the next few weeks. So today I'll be using these cards, Spirit and Messages by John Holland, a famous medium, and I've already drawn 5 cards. They're in front of me face down. I'm going to pick them from left to right, 1 to 5. So if you'd like to pick a number in your mind, or maybe multiple numbers, I feel they'll be linked anyway. I feel the messages will flow on from one to the other. So I may or may not read what's on the cards. These cards actually have a little message written on the bottom of the card. It's a little bit longer than an affirmation, maybe 3, 4, 5 lines. So I feel there have been messages. I feel when these cards were created, you would have channeled some messages from Spirit for each card. So I may or may not read what's on there, but let's make a start and let's see where we end up. Okay, so card number 1. This one is light. It says light. So with this one, I won't read what's on it, but I feel that's about traveling light. Traveling light. You know, I feel we all carry things throughout life on our journey from past experiences, some positive, some not so positive. And, you know, when we do readings, or, you know, when I do readings, I try and focus on the positive to try and improve someone's life and create a positive energy. And, you know, I guess the reality of life is that sometimes we have situations which are hard, and we may carry something from that situation on, and sometimes it doesn't make itself known. Sometimes we're not even aware that we are carrying it until we are in a situation which may, on the surface at least, and it usually is on the surface, appears similar to a past situation that we've been in. So I feel, you know, that first card is about looking at what we're carrying with us and what we don't need to carry, and what we're carrying that may not even be ours to carry. Sometimes we try and help someone, or out of guilt or out of some other emotion, we carry something that is not ours to carry. So I feel moving forward for the week ahead, it is important to travel light and energetically speaking. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one says nature. So, you know, in order to see sometimes what we are carrying, in order to get a better look at ourselves from an energetic point of view, we do need to detach. We do need to, I guess, momentarily, temporarily step away from work, from crowds, just from busyness of life. And I feel that nature card is about detaching, making some time to detach so we can see what we are carrying forward. And it's interesting, you know, going back to the carrying forward, you know, sometimes we do carry things for a long time, and then we reach a point where they are healed and we become comfortable with them, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't feel we can erase anything ever, but I do feel it is about being comfortable with the situations that we've been in throughout life up to this point. And I've lost my train of thought now, but yes, just being comfortable with what we are carrying. And I feel, you know, finding some time and space to detach is important, so we can see that, okay, it's come back to me now. So after we are comfortable with them, then I feel it brings forth the wisdom. Because if something is hard, you know, we do experience feelings of hardship, say for example, and then we understand it better, we start to become comfortable with it. So on the other side of trauma lays wisdom, and once we have that wisdom, then we can use that to move forward easier in other situations and also to help others. So travel light, but make some time to detach from the busyness so we can see what we may be carrying forward for this week coming up. And, I say for the week coming up, but once we become aware of something, it may make that week easier or that day easier, but it's also put us on the pathway to potentially making many, many more days and many, many more weeks and months and years easier. Because it all starts with a step. It all starts with acknowledging that we were carrying something that we need to heal or that wasn't ours to carry, and now we can start moving forward with that more comfortably. Reach out. There's two things that I get with that, and that is, never be too shy or too afraid to ask for help if you need help. And that doesn't have to be over, a major issue, but it could just be help trying to sort out something with work or fixing a car or whatever it is, but never be afraid to ask for help. But also, don't forget to go within, don't forget to reach within, because often the answers we seek are there. They're just laying there, just beneath the surface, and all we need to do is just try a little harder, look a little deeper, walk a little further, and we'll find the answers that we seek. Because I believe, more often than not, we have the answers that we're looking for within. It's just that, life, I guess these days especially, teaches us to go externally and look at things externally. There's a lot of superficial energy, and sometimes I feel we can forget about ourselves, and reaching inward then gives us the strength to go outward. So that's what I would say with that. So travel light, time to disconnect, and reaching out for help from others, yes, but also reaching within. Okay, soul power. We are, you've probably all heard the expression, we're a soul with a body, and the body's a vessel for the soul's a vessel for the spirit. So I believe, that traveling light and that time to disconnect and that going within connects us closer to who we are as an individual, which in turn then takes us to the spirit, activates our intuition, and I believe those things are pathways to spirit, to getting messages from spirit guides, from loved ones in spirit. But first and foremost, I just want to say that soul power is about, listening to our intuition and fulfilling our soul's purpose, or maybe purposes. And that could be an ever-changing thing as well. I believe everything we do leads us to something else. I believe we do something, yes, because we love it, because we want to. Hopefully they are the two main reasons why we do it. But I don't believe anything is final. I don't believe, it stops there. I believe everything is a pathway to something else. So I believe keeping an open mind with what we do, around what we do, often opens other doorways if we're just open and receptive to that possibility. Okay, and the last one, gratitude. Okay, that's always very important, and sometimes a little bit overlooked. I like to start with the gratitude of self, gratitude around self and around what you have and around what we have as individuals, and not being too hard on ourselves, and knowing that we are strong, knowing that we've had the strength to get through all the situations that we've gotten through in life, and they've gotten us to the point where we are. Doesn't mean it was easy, but sometimes situations present themselves not because they're easy, but because I believe we have the strength to get through them. I believe we have the strength to sometimes. We don't think we will. We can't see a way past a difficult situation, but we find the strength. We always find the strength. So gratitude, I feel, is about, firstly, not being too hard on self, and also, it doesn't always have to be, if we're doing things for others, it doesn't always have to be an instant exchange of gratitude because we've done something. Some people do have difficulty expressing that emotion. So I feel just know that if you've done things for others and you've done them from the heart, know that that person appreciates it. They may not appreciate it straight away. They may appreciate it down the track. And yes, you've done it for that person, and a thank you would be nice. I feel there's that human element of us that wants that, definitely. But if you've done it from the heart, you've done it for the right reason, know that that's made a difference to that person's life. And I feel that's the most important thing, because it's the trusting in where it's come from. It's the trusting in what was given, in where that has come from, that will make a difference. So if it's come from the heart, it's come from the soul, it's come without any expectation of anything in return, it's just purely a kind gesture, know that that person or persons will appreciate that and do appreciate that. Okay, so I think that's about it. I think, I feel the main message for this week seems to be mindful of what we are carrying and to travel light, because we're always carrying things, and I feel we move through life more effectively if we're at least aware of what we are carrying, and then in time we will work through that, and we can release some of the burdens of what we are carrying. And also, we don't just carry negative things, we carry positive things as well, positive experiences. So I feel focusing on those in times of difficulty eases the burden of any sort of hard or negative, as we want to call it, energy. And make some time to disconnect from the busyness, make us more aware of what we are carrying. Reaching out is about reaching within, and that soul power, just trusting our soul, trusting our heart, and gratitude. I feel gratitude is potentially the most important one here. And, taking a few moments per day to be grateful for the things that we have. If we just take a minute per day and just run through a little mental list of the things that we are grateful for, even if it's one thing, I feel that shifts our energetic field, because it's easy to get caught up in a spiral of worrying about things that aren't going right at the moment, or things you wish were different or whatever. But gratitude is probably the most important energy there, because that puts us in a space to potentially impact on all those other cards that I drew from this deck today. So thank you for listening. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you at the next reading.